Welcome back to Learning the Tarot. We are on the Four of Wands. So I've mentioned this before, this is just kind of me chit-chatting about it. It's not like probably the most helpful of videos. I feel like it's just a little overly saturated of just like listing off what it's about, so it's more of a discussion about it and my thoughts on it. So yeah, let's jump into the Four of Wands. So I love that this is like the positive card. It reminds me so much of when I was learning the runes, and there's like the handful of like, no matter which way this one pulls up, everything's just great. Everything's just fine, everything's wonderful. And this card, it's great. Whether it's reversed or right side up, either way, it's a good card. And so basically, if it's upright, this card is like kind of a fanfare of celebration of like, you did it, you accomplished whatever, it's a big celebration, it's a big to-do. And then if it's reversed, it's just a much more modest version. It might just be you and maybe a couple other people celebrating whatever your victory is. And again, if we're thinking about how I've been using the same example all the way through, it's like if you were publishing a book, it might now be published and it gets huge in the world, like everywhere, everyone's buying it, and it's a big to-do, and like you might have hundreds or thousands of book sales and everyone's talking about it and it's the new thing that everyone's obsessed with. That would be it upright, obviously. Everyone's like, woo! Everyone's like congratulating you, the community's talking about it, big to-do. Versus it might be it publishes and you've accomplished the thing you set out to do. You might have a few sales here and there, and it's much more modest. You're just happy that it's done, you've got your project out there, and you've completed the task. You've completed the full process from idea to publication. Your book is now done. It is out into the world. But it's not like New York Times #1 bestseller. It's not like #1 on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Kindle and all of the other places, let alone trending on social media and everyone on BookTube and BookTok and all of the other places. Like, no one is like having a big reaction, but you might be having a few modest sales. It's not that it's a flop when it comes out. It just might not be thousands of sales coming in, which would, I mean, honestly be ideal, but it might be like, you know, you might have like 50 or so sales coming in, which is still huge. That's a lot, especially for small authors. And so anyways, this is one of those cards that like, if I was doing a reading for like, again, a potential book that I'm writing, if that was the end card, I would be thrilled, especially if it's upright, to be like, oh, it could succeed, it could do well. Like, it would be lovely. And honestly, I am kind of tempted to try that on my next book. Not the one I'm currently revising, but like the next one I work on, to be like, listen, what if I do a reading of like the planning process card, the writing process, you know, or spell work for it. Do like a spell of like manifesting these steps as we have talked about, where it's like the Ace of Wands is to get the good idea and the outlining process done, and then move on to the Two of Wands to be like the writing process and like the hard work of actually doing it, but being excited about it and like sticking with it, actually doing it, and like you've got the idea, now you're running with it. Three of Wands, like the revisions and like the having your beta readers and editors and stuff and everyone looking it over. And then to end with the Four of Wands of it's now successful, you hit publish, and like you actually do the final step, which is just as hard as step 1, except it's out of your control at that point, and that is to actually sell your book, to actually have readers, because that is truly, I think, between getting it actually written, the first draft, and actually getting it to successfully sell is like the two hardest parts of being an author. So I feel like in spell work, this would be really good to like craft some sort of a spell so that when I would hit publish, to be like, you are going to sell, you are going to help me buy the things I need to buy, because that's what I want to do, obviously. And so like, I feel like other authors might have, I don't know if other people, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that like the witchy authors do that kind of a thing. Like, I don't know, but I feel like that would be a great spell to work on. Again, especially for selling a book, but you could easily transfer that into any kind of project you're doing. The steps would obviously be different, but I mean, the premise would be the same. So anyways, those are my thoughts for this card. I would love to hear your interpretations of this one in the comments down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day, and until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.